Hi. Today, I want to share 3 stories with you. Simple but important. They're about life, about feelings, and about how we deal with what sometimes seems too heavy. Take your time, just breathe calmly and listen. Story 1: The Forgotten Anniversary.
I always believed in quiet love, the kind that doesn't need grand gestures, only quiet consistency. Sam and I have been together for 6 years. We met in college, stumbled into adulthood together, and slowly built a life. It wasn't always exciting, but it was stable, safe. Or so I thought. Our anniversary was approaching, and I had spent weeks planning a small surprise dinner. Nothing fancy, just a cozy night in with candles, his favorite meal, and a scrapbook of our years together. I knew he had been stressed with work, so I didn't expect much in return. Just his time that night. He texted at 6:45, work emergency. Don't wait up, my heart sank. I told myself not to take it personally, but the scrapbook sat unopened on the table. I ate dinner alone. A few days later, he came home late again. This time, he smelled like a cologne I didn't recognize. I asked. He brushed it off, said a colleague had sprayed it in the office as a joke. The distance grew. His phone was suddenly always face down. He took calls outside. Passwords changed, but he still kissed my forehead goodnight. Still laughed at my bad jokes, just enough to keep me second-guessing myself. Then I found the receipt. It was for a hotel in a neighboring city, dated the night of our anniversary. 2 glasses of wine, dinner for 2, a rose petal package. I confronted him. He didn't deny it. He said he got caught up, that she was just someone who made him feel seen, that I had stopped trying. I remember staring at him, wondering how the man I loved became this stranger. Didn't he yell? Didn't he cry? I packed a bag and walked out. Healing took months, but eventually, I stopped waking up with a pit in my stomach. I stopped wondering if I was enough, because I was just not, for someone who didn't choose me. Over and over, I started therapy. I surrounded myself with friends. I went on a solo trip to the coast, where I sat in silence and let the waves remind me that nothing is permanent. Not pain, not betrayal, not even love. Every year when our anniversary date comes around, I do something for myself. A spa day, a new book, a quiet moment of reflection. I no longer grieve what we had. I grieve what I thought we had, because I know now that love shouldn't feel like waiting to be chosen. It should feel like someone showing up every day, not just when it's easy. But there is more to the story. After I left Sam, I went through what I can only call a period of emotional unraveling. I wasn't just grieving a relationship. I was mourning the version of myself that had put so much faith into that was quietly rotting. I began to journal every day for hours. Pages filled with anger, confusion, loneliness, but also moments of unexpected beauty. A warm coffee on a cold morning, a kind word from a stranger, the way the sun touched my face on a park bench. Eventually, I realized that healing isn't a single act. It's dozens of little choices, choosing to get up, choosing to eat, choosing to hope. Months later, I joined a book club. It was silly at first, a mix of retirees and young professionals. But they welcomed me. Through shared stories, I found pieces of myself again. One woman shared her experience of betrayal after 25 years of marriage. Another lost her partner to illness, but still carried him in every laugh. Their resilience inspired me. I started taking weekend trips to places nearby. Just me, my journal, and a camera. I learned to fall in love with solitude. I also started noticing the signs I missed with Sam, how he dismissed my needs, how he belittled my dreams, how he only gave when it was easy. I stopped blaming myself and started holding him accountable, not with bitterness, but with clarity. One evening, I returned home to find a letter in the mail from Sam. He wrote that he missed me, that life felt empty without me, that he had made a mistake. Why didn't he respond? Not because I hated him, but because I finally loved myself enough to walk away from anything that made me feel small. Today, I live in a small apartment filled with light. I have plants I haven't tea-killed, shelves of books I've actually read, and a cat named Luna who curls beside me as I write this. The scrapbook still exists, but now it's tucked away in a box labeled lessons, because that's what our story became. Not a tragedy, but a turning point. And on our anniversary, I still light a candle, but this time for me.
Story 2: The Business Trip.
Jason and I had what most would call a picture-perfect marriage. A suburban home, 2 kids, and a golden retriever named Max. We took family photos every fall, had bi-weekly date nights, and shared a calendar that tracked everything from soccer games to dental appointments. He was an IT consultant smart, reliable, methodical. He traveled often, mostly short-term projects in nearby cities. I never questioned it. We had built our marriage on trust. Or so I thought. The beginning of the end started on a chilly October morning. Jason had packed for a 3-day trip to Denver. He kissed me goodbye, promised to call every night, and left with his usual calm confidence. The first night he didn't tea-call. I figured he was busy the second night. He texted long day. Love you, talk tomorrow. Something felt off. I brushed it off as paranoia. But by the third night, I couldn't shake the tight knot in my stomach. I opened our shared laptop to search for a recipe and noticed the browser history had been wiped. Unusual, I tried to ignore it. But curiosity won. I checked our credit card statement. There, it was a $387 charge for a luxury hotel in Aspen, not Denver. A second charge for a dinner at a romantic restaurant I knew from our honeymoon. My hands shook. I called him. He answered, voice calm. Hey, babe. Where are you, Denver? Why, you're lying. Silence. Then he sighed. I didn't want to hurt you. He admitted everything. Her name was Claire. They met at a tech conference. He claimed it wasn't serious, just an escape. That he still loved me. That he didn't want to lose the kids. I hung up. The kids were asleep. Max looked at me with soft eyes, as if sensing the storm behind my silence. I sat at the kitchen table until sunrise. The ache in my chest was unbearable, like something sacred had been torn apart. In the weeks that followed, I tried to hold it together for the kids. I dropped them at school, made dinner, folded laundry, all while crumbling inside. Jason returned. We talked. I screamed. He cried. We tried therapy. It helped him more than me. One night I watched him hold our daughter as she slept on his chest. He looked so tender, so familiar. And I felt a pang of grief, not just for the betrayal, but for the life I thought we had. Eventually, I made a decision. I couldn't stay in a marriage where I felt second best to a fantasy. I filed for separation. It was messy. The kids cried. My parents blamed me, but I held my ground. I found a part-time job at the local library. It wasn't too much, but it gave me purpose. I reconnected with old friends. We'd sit in cafes, sip wine, laugh too loud. I started painting again, something I hadn't done since college. I painted the pain, the rage, the loss, and then I painted hope. One day, Claire reached out. She apologized, said she didn't know he was married at first, that when she found out, she ended it. I believed her. Strangely, I didn't hate her. Jason moved to a condo downtown. He sees the kids on weekends. We are civil, sometimes even kind. I still ache some days, but less and less. I'm learning that betrayal doesn't mean I was unworthy. It means they were unready. And now I'm building something new, not from the ashes, but from the ground I cleared myself.
Story 3. The Friend.
Emily and I have been best friends since middle school. Through heartbreaks, college chaos, weddings and babies, she was my rock. My maid of honor, my daughter's godmother. The first person I called when life fell apart or felt worth celebrating. So when my husband, Ryan, and I hit a rough patch after our second child, it was Emily who I leaned on. She babysat, brought us dinner, listened to my late night rants about sleep deprivation, fading intimacy, and how Ryan just didn't see me anymore. She was always there. So when I noticed they were texting more often, I didn't panic. She helped him plan my birthday. Of course they were talking. She cared about us. She loved us until she didn't. It started with a message on Ryan's phone. What I wasn't, he's supposed to see last night. I can't stop thinking about it. I froze. I read it again and again. My throat closed. My hands shook. I sat in the hallway while the kids watched cartoons, staring at that single sentence that shattered everything. I confronted him. He broke down, said it happened once, that he was drunk, that he didn't know how to tell me. Then I called Emily. She didn't answer. When she finally did days later, her voice was calm. Hello. I didn't mean for it to happen. She said we didn't plan it. But they did it, and they kept it from me. The two people I trusted most. I remember standing in the bathroom, staring at my reflection, trying to see what they saw, what made me invisible. I wanted to scream. I wanted to break every frame of every memory we shared. But instead, I picked up my daughter, held her close, and decided I would not let this define me. I kicked him out. I blocked her. And then came the quiet. Not peaceful, just empty. The kind of silence that follows a storm when you realize everything has changed and there's no map back, but day by day, one rebuilt. I joined a single mother support group. I cried with strangers who understood. I started running. Just a block at first, then a mile. Then more, each step pounding out grief. Shame, rage. I changed the furniture, painted the walls. I needed the house to stop whispering their names. Months later, I saw Emily at the grocery store. She looked older, tired, alone. She tried to speak. I walked past. Some stories don't need closure. Some friendships, some loves, they rot quietly and it's mercy to bury them. Today, it's just me and my kids. Loud dinners, messy mornings, honest laughter. I don't miss them. I miss who I thought they were. But that's the thing about betrayal. It's a mirror. It shows you not only who they are, but who you are when the worst happens. And I'm proud of who I became. not in spite of the pain. Because of it,
Thank you for being with me and hearing these stories. Remember that even in the most challenging moments, there is always room for peace and light. Take care of yourself and stay at peace with yourself.